Yellowstone Park. Beautiful landscapes, tranquil geysers, and one civilization-ending volcano. Underneath, Yellowstone is the world's largest supervolcano, with enough potential energy to wipe out most of the United States and destroy the global economy, potentially the world. Now don't worry, this isn't a video to scare you or tell you to buy guns to shoot at the inevitable ash cloud. Scientists say the volcano is overdue for an eruption, but in geological terms it won't explode for another 1,000 to 10,000 years. So what's the point of this video? Well, let's ask the question, what if the Yellowstone volcano did erupt? Say the volcano actually explodes in the present day, how would the world react? Now one viewer may say, this isn't alternate history. Well, you're right, but it sure is an interesting scenario, so we'll cover it anyway. If the volcano actually did erupt soon, we would have a fair bit of warning. Using measurements of temperature and volcanic forecasting, scientists would give an alert if the eruption was imminent. An alert could be seen a few days or weeks before the initial eruption. Scientists would report to the United States government first before all else, saying that a catastrophic event is about to begin. Full-scale emergency mode begins nationwide. The US government calls on the citizens to evacuate the entire western portion of the country. It would be the largest full-scale evacuation in American and world history. Since people would only have days to leave the area and their homes, there would be chaos for those trying to leave, and others exploiting the loot left behind. Mass riots envelop across major US cities, mostly in the west. In a few days, states like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and Utah are depopulated. Their citizens gone and crossing the Mississippi River. Many would be stuck behind. Those who don't have cars in the cities or too poor in rural areas would have to wish for the best in the impending fallout. Stock markets would crash across the globe. Economies are put in jeopardy from simply anticipation of the eruption. The days before the eruption would be filled with panic, dread, and dramatic shifts in demographics. Refugees would make shelter east of the Mississippi or as far as they could go. Then one day, the volcano erupts. In under 10 minutes, the states of Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming are literally wiped off the map. Their landscapes explode and are covered in volcanic lava. Ash flies into the atmosphere as an ash cloud forms across the mainland United States. For an 1,000-mile radius, the ground is covered in 10 feet of volcanic ash, making 2/3 of the country uninhabitable. Much of this land is located in the Great Plains, destroying vast amounts of agriculture. The ash cloud causes a dramatic shift in the Earth's climate, shifting the world into a volcanic winter. The United States struggles to maintain control in the weeks following the eruption. The ash cloud would make air travel impossible, and fallen blankets of ash cut the country into two. The West Coast is stranded. In other parts of the globe, countless crops and livestock could die, leading to millions of casualties from famine. Who knows how the rest of the world would react to such a situation? Best prediction is the loss of the United States to global markets would bring on a depression far worse than the 1930s. Social upheaval certainly would happen across every nation, combined with terrible harvests, famine, and new disease. This upheaval could bring civil war, revolution, and other civilization-destroying side effects. In the months after this eruption, many look for a scapegoat to blame this on. Even though the eruption was purely an act of nature, various political and religious movements in the US arise in response to this catastrophe, movements we could not even imagine. From such a drastic period of events, it's hard to say if the United States or other countries would survive the Yellowstone eruption. This is simply one scenario though, and is not an 100% prediction. Sometimes it's just fun to predict, no matter how morbid it is. What do you think the world would be like if Yellowstone erupts?